So I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Any one of you can.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes.
I can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so before we start this certification stuff and cloud thing, so we just wanted to I'll go through what type of certifications are there in the market and what certification we are doing. And 1 second. Yeah. So if you can see in AWS, basically in AWS, we have these many certifications. So previously we used to have only these 5, which are associate architect, associate sysops, and associate developer. And then after that, you can upgrade to professional DevOps engineer and professional solution architect. But later on, you know, because the cloud is a vast subject, and there are so many people from different backgrounds coming into it. So they wanted to, uh, you know, separate it with the specialty and for the foundational. So basically, previously, everyone should have at least 1 year of experience before we write this examination. But right now they're asking it for 6 months. But the thing is, people can start. There are all the freshers are starting with this cloud practitioner. And once you get the, so basically the cloud practitioner will be $100, 80 or $100, I think. It should be around that. And the associates are $150 and professionals are 300 and specialties also 300. So these all are the new things. So if you wanted to become like a security engineer, you can go with this one, but you can't directly write this. You need to go in a stepwise. And then so if you can see, the cloud practitioner is for everyone. And give me 1 second, someone for Okay, so after that you can change into the different fields. So if you are an architect, or you know if you're working as a team lead or business analyst, so you can go through with these certifications like a solution architect, and you can get professional certification in the same field too. And if you are going into the Linux administrator and DevOps type of stuff, then you can choose sysops. And if you are a code developer, and there are so many development tools in AWS too, so you can choose developer. And coming to the professional, you can choose DevOps engineer, which is a combination of operations and developer. So these are the main basic certifications we have. And after that, you can choose. Right now, machine learning is booming, and data analytics. So all these are like a skilled certifications in a specific field. So 1 second, where people dropping and coming in. Shilpa, okay, okay. So yeah, now let's go into this cloud practitioner stuff. So you can go through this. I'll forward you this link, or you can just Google AWS certifications and click this cloud practitioner stuff. So you will get an idea of like, see, as I told you, it's $100 and it's 90 minutes, and you can write this exam from home. And the format is multiple choice and multiple answers. Okay, and this is like a very basic examination, and this is where you will be tested in this certification. Like they'll ask you about cloud architectures and cloud values. And if you can see here, this is the examination guide. You can download it, and this will have like little more brief of this examination. And here is, so this is what they'll test you on: the shared responsibilities, security practices, and costs, and what type of services, some of the. So but the cloud has like 153 services, more than 150, and still they're developing it. But in this course and in this certification, you will be learning about the core services. Like mostly people in IT uses only few core services, so that is where we'll be working on. And we won't be deep diving into every service, but you'll get enough practical knowledge so that you can give this examination. And we'll be working hands-on in this whole course for these 2 weeks, so that you will get habituated with the GUI. And if you'll go for the work, or if you get some job in the cloud stuff, you will be you know it will be easy for you to navigate, and you'll feel comfortable with the GUI, because as I told you, there are 157 services, more than 157 services still developing in AWS. And if you can see, so this is the weightage of the examination. So initially cloud concepts is 26%. So basically we'll discuss about the cloud concepts in first 3 days. And after that, we'll go into security and compliance. So what is the security in AWS? Uh, those things, those topics will be covered. So this is 25%. And then the technology. So what services we have in AWS, and how the support will be, and how the AWS operates. So that's what we will learn in technology. And after that, billing and pricing. So you can say like, why billing and pricing? You need to know billing and pricing. Billing and pricing is very important, because if you go back to the certification stuff, and if you are choosing this path, like from here, if you're choosing this architecture part, the architect need to provide the best solution economically. That means they need to know how much that costs, and what services are there, and how much does it cost, and best usage of the services too. So basically, what services they are using. The same thing can be done in 2 or 3 different ways in AWS itself. So you need to know what's the best practice and what's the best scenario for that specific customer. So that's the reason billing is very important, not only for the architects, even for developers and DevOps engineers and SysOps. They also need to know this, so that they can choose correct services, and economical services according to it. So someone, why? Okay, so do you have any questions regarding the examination? So you got to know like what we are preparing for, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you please expand your screen more in case that would be better if you can?
No, this is the full screen I have. I
Okay.
think you need to check from your side. Maybe you can close the participant window. It would expand, I think so.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, hi Srikant. I have a question. Like,
Yeah.
what is the passing score for this?
Oh, yeah. That's the main question actually. So it should be around 70% or something like that. Uh,
It's like just one attempt, or if we couldn't get the 70%, can we attempt again?
Yeah, you can attempt again, but
And we need to
you
pay
need to,
again. Okay.
yeah, you need to pay again. Yeah. And one more thing is you don't need to worry about the pass percentage for this because this is like very basic, and once you put your 100% on this class, it is very easy. Most of the people get 100 out of 100, 100 percentage, and some says around 90 to 95, even though they are freshers. So I don't think you need to worry about that. This should be very, very easy and straightforward examination. But that should be around 70%, 70 to,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I think we can get that in the examination guide. So examination guide will have more in depth of this exam. So yeah, so the passing score is 700 out of 1000. So that is 70 percentage. I don't know why you guys are leaving the chat room and again joining. So, okay, so you can go through, you can download this. As I showed you, you can search for AWS AWS certifications, and you will get to this page where you have, yeah, this is the AWS certification page. It's like aws.amazon.com/certification. And I can paste this in the chat so that you guys can get this later. Okay, and after that you need to select this, and then you can download. You'll also have a sample questions. It's a set of 10 or 20 questions you'll have. You can also do that. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to register to this examination. So this is how you schedule your exam, and schedule your exam on 9th of the next month, around 9th or something like that. So if you can do that, you would be, don't worry, we can get to that speed for sure, and that is enough time. I have already trained the other guys before. You don't need to panic about it. And if you have that examination in 2 weeks, you will be cautious in the training, and you can concentrate more. Okay, so just try to register to that on 9th. And if you if for some reasons you are not able to get to that speed on that time, you can reschedule it for 3 times, I think so, mostly. So you don't need to worry, but I wanted you to do it on 9th or 10th of the next month, so that um, you know you can take these classes dedicated. Any other questions you have on this thing before we move to the next topic?
No, all set.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Yeah.
will you have a practice test with you, or is it something we need to buy to do practice?
No, see, in this examination, we are not going to any of these dumps or something like that. So here in this class, you will work with me. I'll give you some tasks. You will be doing those tasks. So those are the day-to-day tasks in the in the cloud jobs. So you will be doing those. By that you should be able to clear this examination. But again, there are some free, or like some questions outside, in the online. We can practice those sets, but we don't need to buy anything or we don't need to purchase anything. Okay. Whatever free questions or free papers what we have online, like example, here itself we have 20 questions. If you can see, I don't know, it's 20 or 10 questions. Yeah, it's 10 questions. So in that way, there are few people, they leave these practitioner tests or like some questions on online. So there are few websites where you have like 100 or 400 questions. So last 3 or 4 days we'll be practicing that, so that you will understand the format of it, and you'll understand what type of questions you get, and you don't need to expect the unexpected. So so we'll do that in last 3 days. But we're not buying any questions, or we're not buying any dumps in this course.
Sure, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah. So, okay. Shall we move to the next topic, or do you guys have any other questions? Okay. So don't panic with this introduction of the certifications and the squeezing dates and all that. So don't worry about it. This is a very, very, very basic examination, and it is very easy to clear. And just try to concentrate on what we are teaching you, and you don't need to worry that I have come from different background. I'll The people who have IT background and who know this already, please bear with us. I'll be going very basic level, so that everyone can understand. Okay, is that fine?
Yes, Srikanth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So before going into the class, just can you all just let me know, like, what do you know about cloud? It's like what is your perspective? So everyone have different idea on cloud, right? So what is your perspective on the cloud? So let's start with who? Let's start with, I don't see the chat box. Participants,
Uh,
is this right?
yeah, this is Pioneer.
Yeah, Pile. Yeah.
Uh, the thing I know about the cloud is like it's the new technology, or
Mm-hmm.
you can say, I know like it's
Yeah.
yeah, like it's more efficient than what people were using before.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
yeah,
mean,
it's a
yeah, we'll discuss about the users later, but if you can just brief, what do you know about, like what do you think cloud is?
I just know few, you can say the features, but not exactly what it is.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Mm.
That's fine. Can Chandra Kala, can you answer that? Like, just give me like what is the idea you have when someone says cloud? That's fine. Anyone else?
Data storage.
Okay, data storage.
If I heard about cloud, and I think company use cloud because to store the data.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, the cloud basically is a, like a data storage where like more significantly, it's all of the things you can access remotely over the internet. When something is in the cloud, it means it's stored on internet. So servers instead of your computer's hard drive, like anywhere in the world, you can access to
Okay.
all the data.
Okay. Very good point. Anyone else?
Yeah. Technology use licenses company's expenses, and it is something which is not on-prem. That has been taken responsibility by others to provide the services.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a cloud. Cloud is opposite to the on-prem, and it's not on. It's a good answer, but yeah. Anyone else?
Cloud is on demand.
Probably it's more. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So like cloud is like on demand availability of computer resources like data storage and computing power, like without having the direct active management.
Okay, so very good answer, on demand. And Shilpa?
Yeah, Shrikant. As far as I know, probably when we store something in cloud, it's more secure.
Again, we are discussing about the users itself. I think while you can also add the points here. Okay. Anyone else want to contribute?
And
One more thing
cloud
I would
is
like to add.
free.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
cloud is like full of free storage.
Full of free storage.
Yeah.
Free storage. Yeah, we'll write for now and we'll discuss that. Okay. Next.
A centralized system.
Right system. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Okay. Let me go ahead with this. So when we are, so the question is like, what do you know about cloud? Like, what do you think the cloud is? Okay. So basically, the cloud is nothing but, in layman's language, cloud is nothing but someone else's computer, right? Someone else's computer. That's it. You are just accessing it remotely. You don't have it physically with you. So when we are talking about
Like
cloud, yeah, go ahead.
like TeamViewer.
Yeah, go ahead, mom.
Oh, like TeamViewer, right? I mean, we use somebody computers.
Yeah, exactly. From the team viewer, you will be able to access to someone else's computer, and even we do that as RDP, right? Remote desktop. Even in
Yes,
AWS, we do
yes.
this RDP. Yeah, so we connect remotely to a different server, which is in different place in the whole world. You know, you can access it remotely. You can access it from anywhere. Okay, so then again, what is the difference between the on-prem and cloud? So I I think like most of you guys don't know what's on-prem. On-prem is nothing but uh, the servers or the computer on premise. On premise means in the company or near you, like so those things are called, in IT we call on-prem, means it is on premise, that is the hardware which is present before you. Okay, we have the server rooms, right? In the server rooms we have all the servers, those are the physical servers what we have. So all the physical servers and all the physical hardware or all the physical structures are called on-prem. So that's what we call on-prem in IT. So on-prem is exactly opposite to the cloud, which is not physical. It is somewhere, it is physical, but it is somewhere. It's not in front of your eyes. You're just accessing it remotely. So in simple words, it is just someone else's computer. That's it. In even in the AWS, there are servers, they have data centers, they maintain all this at one point, and you will be accessing it. The best example for this is, example, you get electricity, right? Everyone have this electricity, without that we are not living. So would you get a generator and produce your own power? in your home?
No.
No, right? Why? We can do that basically, but why we are not doing it?
Too expensive.
Yes, correct. Because it's very expensive. So in the same way, all the IT infrastructure and hardware is very expensive. So that's the reason we are going into the cloud stuff where AWS is managing all this infrastructure, all the hardware, all the services, and you're just hooking it up. That's how you do for the electricity too, right? When you just get your home, your own home or your rental home, you'll just try to get that connection and you will use the power from the power grid nearby. So in the same way, so there are data centers for the AWS. You are just getting what you need exactly, and you will pay only for what you use. This is very similar to the electricity, right? Even electricity, how much you use, that's the only thing you're paying for. In the same way, even in the cloud, you will be paying only for what you use. Okay, so now why a cloud is booming up? Like, why are we not going into the on-prem? On-prem, just now we have discussed one thing which is very expensive. And the second, like, do you have any other cons you can explain?
Yes, you can access it from anywhere in the world. You don't need anything to access. So cloud is just like a open, huge, like infrastructure where anybody can just, like log in from
Correct.
anywhere in the world.
Accessibility. Yes, accessibility. And anything else? Okay. So if you can take just example, okay. Pile is starting up a business. Okay, it's an IT business. Okay, and if she has to start a business, what she need to do? It's an IT business, so she have some idea on some application. So she got some team for test team. She got one team for development. She got one team for IT. She got all these guys ready, and those guys need the infrastructure, right? Or the servers where they build or they develop this application. So for that, what she need to do? She need to buy the servers, buy the hardware, okay, buy the infrastructure. So when we are talking about infrastructure, right? If you infrastructure can be used in different fields and the meaning will differ in each place. Example, in architecture, like in civil, if we are talking about infrastructure, that means how the building is, right? In the same way, in IT, if we are talking about infrastructure, that means that is servers, the databases and the load balancers or Cisco network connections. All these are together. We call it as infrastructure. Okay, so all the hardware what you use for. So when Payal wanted to start this business, so she need to buy a lot of servers. So previously, every IT company used to have server rooms, right? The the fancy, uh, you know, uh, chilled room with black color boxes with so many lights. Did you guys ever seen the server rooms?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Right? So this is
Yes.
so if Payal wanted to start this, so she need to buy all this hardware, right? And where will she put this hardware? She need to buy the place, right?
Please.
And then maintenance. And then does she know how much usage will be there in this whole hardware? She don't know. It's just an estimation. So she need to buy a lot of hardware. If the utilization is 50%, she need to buy 70% of utilization hardware, and she need to buy a place to put that, and she need to maintain it. That means the AC, the power, and there should be a different team to maintain this room. So how much cost it is, right? There is a lot of cost even before she starts some startup. She didn't even start the startup. She's just planning to do it. But before that, she need all this. But because of cloud, what we got right now is you are not paying a single penny before you start your business. You're starting your business. When you need some server, you're going in, you are just buying, I need this server. You'll buy it, you'll use it, and you will terminate it. That means you will give that back and you will pay only for what you have used. You are renting someone's server or someone's computer or someone's infrastructure. You got it right? It's just that you are renting out someone else's infrastructure. So now when we are talking about cloud, okay, the cloud means all the servers doesn't stay in the cloud. Okay, it is the same structure what AWS have at their data centers. Okay, then if you can see AWS data center, you can see this, right? And they are very secure. So they have this whole, see if you can see this, the whole data center will have servers, and when you buy some hardware, you will be renting it from here. So that is the basic thing in AWS cloud. Cloud is nothing but, again we'll repeat, cloud is nothing but someone else computer, someone else server, someone else system, someone else node, someone else instance. So there are so many n number of names, what we call for a computer or laptop or server or node or instance. Anything else you want to add? EC2 instance, VM, virtual machine.
Infrastructure.
What is it?
Infrastructure. We are using someone else's infrastructure.
Exactly, someone else infrastructure. Infrastructure means, again in IT, what we call what is infrastructure? Infrastructure is nothing but a server, a database, a data storage, a load balancing system, a network system, okay, a routing system. All this together is called infrastructure. So we are using someone else. Someone else means we can, here we can take it as AWS. So AWS is one of the provider where we are using it. We are just renting it out. The same way how we hook up the electricity to our home, in the same way you will just use the hardware of the AWS and you will be paying only for what you are using. So that is the best uh, you know thing for the cloud. So that is where everyone is moving, the next startups. So they don't need to pay high upfront. When you wanted to start a business, you don't need to get this whole data center. You can just rent it out how much you need. So this is clear, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you can say, okay, I have a company, but why do I need this data servers? I can run that on my laptop, or I'll buy just a few, two or three computers, and I can run on it. No, the answer is no, because you need to host an application, or for development you need very big servers. Even for testing you need high capacity emissions. Our laptops doesn't work. We basically, even in on-prem, what we do is we try to connect to the instance where this software is installed or software is provisioned. Example, I think Syed, I think you have worked on SAP, right? So SAP will be installed in very big missions, right? that doesn't
Yes.
support our laptops. That's
Yes.
right? Yeah. So in the
Yep.
same way, what they'll do is most of the applications that those don't support our laptops. Our laptops are basic way to connect it. So when we're talking about, okay, it's just someone else computer, right? It's someone else computer. Then how will you access that someone else computer? You need to have one computer, right? Right? Example, if you are, let's take data storage, okay? Um, Google Drive is cloud. Google Drive is also one type of cloud, because where you're storing the data and you can access it remotely, and you are not hosting that server. So can we call that as a cloud?
Yes.
Yes. So that's a very basic example of the cloud, Google Drive, right? So how we are accessing the Google Drive from your computer, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to have your own mission, which is just for accessing. And on the opposite side, where you're connecting to this mission, that is a very big mission. So um, you can call that as server. Okay. Servers are basically high powered engine or high storage missions. Okay. That is clear, right?
Shrikant.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions on it? Like any confusions, or you get stuck at some point, something like that?
Does this technology feasible for bigger companies, or it's only for startups and small scale
No, no, no.
development?
So right now, everyone is moving into, even for the bigger companies, even though they have the data centers. So if they are trying to get the new things, they need to get the new hardware again. So what they are doing is they are going into cloud. So they're like from last 3 years, there is cloud first movement everywhere. That means whatever you wanted to try, the management is, the from CEOs and CTOs, there is a strict thing that you need to um, first think about cloud. First try to get that in the cloud, because so that company can save a lot of money, and company can save a lot of infrastructure and work and time too. One more thing is, to set up this whole data center, it will take months. But here, and also, even though you have this thing, right, in a basic on-prem IT culture, if you are requesting for a server to the IT team, it would probably take, the fastest is 15 days. Fastest is 15 days. So they'll take a lot of time to get you a mission, you get some approvals, get all the, like, a lot of stuff in it, and they'll configure it with your AD and all that stuff. And the minimum is 1 week to 15 days. But here, in seconds, you're getting an instance. In second, you're getting a mission. That might be a smaller mission, or that might be a supercomputer. You're getting it in seconds. Okay, so you can move the projects faster, and it is cheaper, and you can do a lot of POCs too. When you try to do a POC, you know what is POC, right? POC is proof of concept. That means myself, like Deepika have one idea, but she don't know whether it will work or not. So she need to try a proof of concept. That means she has a concept and she is trying to do some testing on it, so whether that concept will work or not. So that is called POCs. Most of the IT applications will go through POCs before it is implemented. So at that point of time, you don't need to buy hardware, and you don't need to buy whatever is needed for that application. You can just go into the AWS cloud, spin up few instances, do your installation or do your POC on it, and just terminate it. That's it. You'll be paying only for, if you used it for 1 hour, you will be only paying for 1 hour. And second thing is, there are lot of companies, like financial companies, and the bank, financial banking are same, right? And some of the digital transportation companies like GE Transportation, GE Digitals, and come in some of the like very top, very old companies. I cannot say top ones because there are some top companies where they've already moved to cloud. So they are still planning to move into the cloud. This migrations will take place until like more than 7 to 10 years to completely IT to adopt the cloud. So right now, all the projects what you have, like most of the project, 70% projects what you will have is migration projects, and 30% are the new implementations for the startups. So that answers your question, right? 70% is migration. That means the bigger companies are using it to migrate their on-premise to cloud. So I have worked in Cummins. The headquarters is in Indiana, um, Indianapolis. Uh, and we have started, you know, like the work, we called it as C2C, that is Columbus to cloud. So there is a place called Columbus in Indiana. So that's where the Cummins is. So we have moved 400 applications from the data center to the cloud, and they have vacated the whole data center. So it was like 10 years or 15 years lease, and before 1 year they have started this migration, and in 1 year we have migrated completely 400 application, and one application is of $3.7 billion project. It's a RPA data warehouse for the all over the world, in Asia Pacific and all the places. So we had a war room, and we have migrated that big application into AWS Cloud. So again, in Cummins also there are so many people. They are like old school. They wanted to use legacy applications and they want to use legacy on-premise, but people are moving into the cloud. So at one point of time, that might be 10 years or more than 10 years, it will be complete cloud. You won't have any on-premise. It will like where it will like 1 or 2%. Any other questions?
Thank you, Shrikant.
Yeah, no problem. So any other questions, guys, before we move into the next topic?
No.
Okay. So now most of you guys might think about like, what is this server? He's talking about server. He's talking about instance node, and he's talking about load balancer, storage, database. Okay, cool down. Those are nothing. You don't need to worry about it. Example, now just we will compare what is a server with what we use in our daily life, which is a laptop or a computer. Okay, so let's take a computer. Okay, what do you know about computer? Like, what are the components you have for a computer to run? Like, when I'm talking about computer, let's take laptop, right? Most of you use laptop, right? So let's talk about what are the components we have in our laptop. So when uh, okay, yeah, when Shilpa wanted to buy a laptop, Shilpa, what do you look into? Like, in the market, like what, what do you look into? What is the configuration you look into the laptop? Like, what do you know about? Like, how do you choose?
Storage.
It's the storage, processor, RAM,
That is, what is the storage called? Do you know? Anyone else?
drive, hard drive.
Yeah, hard drive, H hard drive or hard disk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next,
It's RAM,
RAM, right?
Processor.
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 Yeah.
That's the main thing, right? CPU, let's call
Graphics.
it CPU. Graphics. Next,
Motherboard.
um, next, anything else?
Power supply.
Yeah, power supply. Next,
Speed?
what is it? Speed?
Yeah.
So is that internet speed or or the working speed?
Yeah, the processing speed. You can say the working.
Yeah, the processing is covered with CPU.
Okay.
What else?
Other components are keyboard, screen.
hmm The main one. You're missing out the main one. Just think, guys. What is the
Is it
most
RAM?
important?
Is it RAM?
RAM is already there.
Monitor,
Operating system.
screen.
Yes, OS, operating system. Without operating system, we can't do anything, right? OS. OS is the operating system. Anything else? I would expect this in top three actually. You're talking about it for the last. Next, anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Okay. Okay, so now in your regular laptop, you will have all this, right? Now let's compare this with the cloud instance or cloud mission or cloud node or cloud virtual mission, whatever you call it. So see, basically this has n number of names. Okay, they call it, you can just note this down, they'll call it as instance. Okay, they call it as server, they call it as virtual machine, they call it as compute engine, they call it as EC2, they call it as node. Else, do you guys have anything else in the mind on what they call these things? Server, instance, computer, node. Yeah, mostly these things. Other than this, there might be one or two I might miss, but people, you can call this anything. Okay, you don't need to be very specific, but in AWS you call it as EC2. Okay, or you can call it as instance. You can basically they call it as EC2 instance. So in AWS, the terminology of this thing is instance or EC2 instance or EC2. Okay, you can call that. In GCP, they call the same thing as, okay, before going into this, just a small tip for you guys. So there is GCP, there is AWS, there is Azure. So do you know how many types of clouds are there? Like how many different providers we have? Like, can you just give out the names?
Google Cloud,
Yeah, Google Cloud,
like I said, Azure is there, AWS is there, and
Azure, AWS. Anyone else?
Ali-
IBM.
Yeah, IBM. Do you know what they call IBM Cloud as?
No, that I don't know.
Yeah, it's soft layer. Soft layer is
Okay.
IBM's cloud. Next.
I believe Alibaba has cloud
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Alibaba Cloud.
And there is Oracle Cloud.
Exactly. Oracle Cloud. Next. Yeah, these are the big players. Okay, there are many other clouds too. To the private clouds, lot of clouds there out there. But these are the main things. What do you think is the difference between all these clouds? Do anyone of you know?
Maybe the price.
Yeah, price. Price is one big thing. Yeah. Next, what is the difference? The major difference.
I think all of them provides different services. Could we add?
Many,
Um,
many
that
products,
what is it?
different products that they offer.
Yeah, product services. That's a partially correct answer. But the thing is, there is no difference between all these clouds. There is nothing. Just they use different names. Example, as I told you, AWS call it as EC2, GCP call it as Compute Engine, and Azure call it as Virtual Machine. All the three things are same, which is a server, a computer, a laptop, a node, an instance, whatever it is. Not a laptop, but some server, right? Just the names. And again, as you guys said, even the services. Example, other than the big players like Azure, AWS, and GCP, the other providers have only few products. Like Oracle is completely, on database side where they only go with storages and databases which are in cloud. Okay, in that way, even IBM has very limited services and limited products. But mostly, whatever services they provide, everything that means like most of them are very similar one. Just the names will change. Other than that, everything will be very similar, very very similar. So once you got this AWS certification and you know what services are there and how you to do it, you can compare those with GCP and you can do it very very easily, even in Azure. The GUI is little different. Once you navigate, you'll get it. It's very easy. Alibaba is also very easy. Alibaba is also one of the big ones. So right now, AWS is moving way, way, way forward than all these clouds. And the second player is Azure. Previously, it used to be Azure first, and because Azure already is in market from long time with Outlook and yeah, the OneNote type of stuff. So they have whatever customers they have converted in them into cloud, and they gave some offers to them, and they have like a lot the big database of customers. But AWS has very good service, so they have moved to the first position now, and they're moving very quick. And the Azure and GCP supports are very horrible, very very horrible. But AWS supports are very good, basically, so that you won't have any issues. So customer service is the first priority for them. So that's the reason most of the companies are adopting AWS other than the other things. Okay, coming into the topic. So these are the different names we have for the cloud instance or cloud server. Okay, the mission on the cloud. Okay, yeah, that's the one more thing we missed it. Mission. So these are the different names what we have. So now let's compare it. So this is your laptop and this is some instance on the cloud. Okay, so yes, so do we have storage on the cloud?
Yes.
Yes, right.
Yes.
So we have the storage on the cloud. So what do we call it in? So right now, let's concentrate on AWS. Okay, just forget about all the other clouds. In AWS, what do we call hard disk? We call it as EBS. What is EBS? Do anyone know what is EBS?
Elastic block storage.
Exactly, elastic block storage. Okay, the name is different, but what it is, it's a hard disk. That's it. So here, how you have this hard drive, the same thing, they call it as EBS, elastic block storage. That means how our laptop have 1 TB storage or 500 GB storage. In that way, in this mission, we call that as EBS. Okay, and now RAM and CPU. Okay, so what do we call that in AWS? Together. Okay, so basically RAM and CPU will be together in AWS. They combined it, actually even graphics, they combined it all three of it, and they call it as type, instance type. Okay, so that is combination of RAM, CPU and graphics, right? You understood what I'm trying to say, right? Next, motherboard. So because this is virtual type, we don't have motherboard, right? Do you think we'll have motherboard? We don't need to worry about motherboard. We won't select motherboards, right? Even when we
Maybe.
are when we are getting the laptop, we don't need to worry about the motherboards. And the power, because it's virtual, you don't need to worry about the power too. Next thing is OS. Okay, OS. So basically, here in AWS, we this is not OS actually. These are Amazon mission images. Okay, that means we need to choose some image which is different type of OS, and we need to provision the mission. That means, example, previously, do any of you guys have installed or installed OS? Not now, like previously, not recently. Any time before 5 years, maybe 10 years. Did you guys try to install OS, or if you guys have seen when someone is installing an OS, which
Yes.
is Windows XP, uh, you know, Windows 7, Windows 10,
Yes.
Windows Vista. Previously, we have that too, right? So at that
Yes.
point of time, what they used to do, they used to put some boot disk. Do you remember that? A disk.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
we
correct,
call
Shikhar.
them as boot disk. So they basically put all the OS components in that disk, and when they write into the disk, we call that as image. Do anyone know about that? So basically, there will be like burning images. Those images are burned to the DVDs or CDs. Previously, if you have used like computers long back, we used to write songs or movies into discs. So we used to create burning images. We call them as burning images. I don't know if you guys have remember that. It
Yes.
Yeah, so that is the same technology here we are using, which is AMI. AMI is nothing but an virtual image like Amazon Mission Image, where there are all the OS components. So for Linux OS, there is one AMI. For Windows OS, there is other AMI. For any other OS you wanted to choose, it will be different AMI. So these AMIs are available in market with pre-installed softwares also. You got it what I'm trying to say, right? So like how we have, I think if you have remember Windows Vista used to have different flavors. So they used to pre-install VLC media player and some other players and some other themes, and they used to release images like series. So in that way, you can pre-install anything, and you can create your own custom image also. So that next mission, when you spin it up, you will have SAP already pre-installed on it, or Java pre-installed on it. So you can create the images and you can use the images which are in market. So images are nothing but it will have all the OS components. Do you guys have any questions on it? Right now, you might have a small gap, but you'll understand going forward. Anyone else have anything, any questions on it? EBS volume, instance type, AMI. These three things you need to remember when you try to spin up an EC2 instance. Okay. Okay. Got it, guys?
Yes,
Any questions?
Shrikant.
Yeah.
Yes, Shrikant.
See, if you're not able to get it, just let me know. I'll quickly spin up an EC2 instance so that you will understand. So if you can see this one, okay. When see guys, everyone will be creating their own AWS accounts. AWS account is free for 1 year. So we there is something we need to cover in this certification examination also for this free tier thing. So I'll we'll discuss about that tomorrow. But before that, I want you guys to create an AWS account, which is a very straightforward thing. If you can see, Cognito AWS console, search for AWS console, you'll get something like AWS management console. So when you open it, see if you can see create free account. So the free account is free for 12 months. Again, so that is for 1 year, right? Again, there are some you know restrictions on it. That means you can spin up the basic things, not the supercomputers or any other bigger services which is more chargeable. So there is a list of thing where you get, if you can see the pricing here, AWS free tier. You need to go through this. This is you'll get a lot of questions on this too. So if you can see AWS free tier, how many months it is free for? It is 12 months, right? And these are the limits you have on EC2. So what is the EC2? Just now I told you. What is EC2? Anyone? EC2?
That's an Amazon.
Yeah, EC2 is nothing but emission, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's just emission. S3. S3 is nothing but like how we have Google Drive. In the same way, we just store something in it, and we'll get an GUI access to it. You can store files in it. Okay, RDS and all this, I'll let you know. So these are the free tier limitations. So that means you will have 5 GB of free limit for S3, and you can spin up a computer or like machine or EC2 or an instance So everything is same, right? For 750 hours. Okay, 750 hours of T2 micro, T3 micro instance, depending on the region. Okay, so these are the free things. So just try to create, so like create an AWS account, give your email ID, password, confirmation, give some name on that, continue, go to the next steps. So just fill it down, uh, make it as a personal account, and they'll be asking your credit card, but don't worry, you won't be charged for anything, but you should be very cautious when you use this thing. Just follow what I'm saying so that you won't be charged for anything else. Okay, and if you can see, once you log in, let me log out and show it to you so you can see how it will be. So if you can see, this is the thing. Previously you are able to create the EC2, like create the account. So here you will be signing into the console. When you try to sign into the console, you'll have two options. One is root user, one is IAM user. Root user is the main user what we have created the account with. Example, I told you to create an account, right? So you'll give your email ID. So you will be the root user of your account. Okay, so I'll be creating a root user for this. Not creating, I'm logging into the root thing. So if you can see, I have logged into this. So once you once you logged into the AWS GUI, this is the GUI what you get. Okay, so here don't worry about all this stuff. Even me using this like for 5 years, I didn't even scroll this down. Okay, even this is new to me. Okay, no one will go here and do all that stuff. Just if you can click here or here, you can see these are the services AWS provides. All the services for compute, EC2, Lightsail, Lambda, batch services, all this. For storage, S3, EFS, okay, AWS backup. For database, RDS, all this stuff. And even by seeing this, also don't get overwhelmed. No one will use all of this. Okay, this is for different uses. Basically what I'm trying to say here is AWS is very vast, very vast. That means you can do everything in this AWS, like whatever IT guys do, take it as development, take it as testing, take it as whatever it is, you can do anything on AWS, including domain registrations, routings, and everything. Okay, even blockchain, everything you can do, which is of IT stuff. Okay, but there are only few core services which people use. So only that will be covered in our examination. So we will be concentrating on only those. One of the main core service is EC2, which we just discussed about. See, EC2 is virtual server in the cloud. I told you, right? It's a virtual server or virtual machine. So that is one more name, guys. See, there are so many names for these things. You can call it anything, okay? You don't need to have a specific thing. But when you open a like AWS account, and if you say like I have spun up a virtual mission, it would sound little weird because people will know that you're talking about uh, either Hyper VMs or Azure ones. So okay, once you go into it, so okay, I'll show you again. You can go to services and click here, and it will take to EC2 page, or you can search here EC2. Okay, before going into the EC2, do you guys know what is the full form of EC2? EC2 is a
No.
short form actually. Can anyone say that? What is it?
Elastic Cloud Computing.
Yep, Elastic. Is it Elastic Cloud Compute or Elastic Compute Cloud?
Elastic Cloud Compute.
Elastic Compute
Compute Cloud, I think.
What is it?
Elastic Compute Cloud.
Yeah, Elastic Compute Cloud. Me working in AWS for 1 year, I was in the same assumption that Elastic Cloud Compute. That sounds easier. That's the reason everyone, mostly 70% who have experience in AWS, basically we don't have that name right everywhere. We just call it as EC2. We don't know the full form of it. And when someone asks, we say that. But the thing is, it's compute cloud, not cloud compute. Okay. So what is the full form again, guys?
Elastic Compute Cloud.
Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay. That
Mm.
is nothing but an instance or virtual machine or virtual server or node or instance. There are like a number of names for it. Okay. Just call it as EC2 also. Okay. So now let's create an instance. Like let's create a mission. So till now we have discussed about this, right? Here you can see we have discussed about this thing. So when we compared this with load balancer, can you guys go into the mute? I think there is yeah, this is better. No, not that. Who is that? Yeah, this is better. Okay, so if you can see this one here, we have compared this with this one, right? So when we are trying to create an instance in AWS, what are the main things we need to worry about? AMI, instance type, and EBS, right? So let's get into it. Let's create one instance. Okay. So if you can see these instances, there are 3 servers running or 3 instances running. And if you wanted to create new one, just if you can see here, there is a launch instance thing, right? Or you can click here to launch instance, or you can go into this instances and you can launch instance here also. So that's the same option. You have it outside and inside too. Okay. So try to launch an instance here, create an instance. So the first step is what? AMI, which I just told you, right? AMI. AMI is nothing but OS, right? We need to select OS. So now you need to select what OS you need. You need Linux machine or you need Windows machine. So I'll search Windows. Okay. See, there are different types or different flavors. 2019 base, 2019 base with containers, 2019 SQL, 2019, or we will have 2016 servers also. See, 2016 base. So if you can see here, eligible free tier. Okay, you need to select that free tier. Otherwise, you will be getting charged. Make sure you select the free tier ones. Select any of those things. So right now I am spinning up Windows machine. If you wanted Linux also, you need to do the Linux. In the next class, we'll be creating the Linux machines too. So let me select this one. So the first part is you're selecting OS. Is that clear, or do you have any questions on it? If you have any questions, let me know right away. Guys,
No, we good.
you're good, right? So, okay. Next, I told you type, right? Instance type. Instance type is nothing but what? Let's go back to this thing. Instance,
RAM,
yeah, instance type is nothing but RAM,
RAM,
CPU,
CPU,
and graphics,
graphics.
right? These 3 things. Okay, if you can see, these are the things. Okay, we need to discuss about this a lot. So basically here, one CPU and one memory.
Yes,
Okay.
Vikram, can you hold for a second, please, if you don't mind? Many people of the new here. So, can you tell that like why we are using the two different operating system, which is Windows, and what is the purpose of using the Windows and the Linux? So,
No, yeah, see, right now I'm creating a mission, so we are not selecting two OSs right now. So we have selected only Windows, but Windows and OS thing we'll be discussing in the next thing right now, because if we talk about OS, it will be off topic, because we have covered this stuff, right? So I wanted to create an instance right away. So basically, I have given an overview that this is equal to a laptop. So in the laptop, what OS you have? Windows. So that's what we have selected right now. And this is next CPU. Okay. So for the CPU, you will have memory. So, okay, as I told you, type is nothing but CPU and memory. And if you can see, there are so many types of instance types. As I told you, you can spin a very, very, very small instance, which has only just 500 MB RAM and one CPU, to a very, very big missions where you have 128 GB RAM to, 38 core CPUs. So CPU is nothing but, in laptops, if you can see, i3 configuration, i7 configuration, i5 configuration, right? So that is the types of configuration depending upon the speeds and how it works. In the same way, here they have created with vCPUs. vCPUs are nothing but virtual CPUs. Okay. So in that way, they have calculated the CPUs here. And here, if you can see, this starts with different letters like T2 nano, T2 micro, T2 large. Okay. If you can go below, you can see C4. If you can go below, you can see D types like D3, D2, then F1, G3, H1, and M4, something like that. So basically, if you can go here and search for EC2 instance type, you'll get the pricing, you'll get the type comparisons also. So basically, why we are using different things is depending depending on the usage. Example, if we are using any application for memory based, you will select M. If you are using general purpose, you will use T2 micro. All these are general purpose, T and M, all this stuff. If you can select C, this is compute type. So if you can see, if you are using any compute applications, you need to select C types: C, C6, CG, C5, C8, C5, C4. And if you are selecting an memory with so applications with memories, you will be selecting Z's, H's, and R's. And here you don't need to worry about it. You are not the one who will be choosing this. You know, there will be, if you're not an architect. So basically, architects doesn't spin up these instances, and who spins up this doesn't choose these things. Okay, even before an application or something is planned, and the architect team and the management team has to decide how much of CPU or how much of memory it need to be. Either they will be selecting for you, or you can suggest them that, okay, you are looking for 4 CPU and 16 memory, so you can either choose 432 or 216. So it is in between. So basically, if someone comes and I say that I need 4 CPU and 16 memory, you can say, okay, we have 4 CPU, but we have 32 memory. We don't have in between. Either you need to reduce your CPU, or you need to reduce your memory, increase your memory. So that's how you choose your CPU and um, RAM. So here again, if you can see, select the free tier eligible. So that means you will get a free tier one. That is, you won't get charged. And next, if you can see, so these are the options for network. Network is what we didn't discuss yet, because if you buy a laptop, you need to connect to a Wi-Fi, right, to get an internet. So here, in the same way, they will be connecting to some network, that is VPC. That network will have subnets also. So this will be we can discuss this elaborate in the next things, but right now you can just directly go, and you can also select how many types of sorry, how many missions you need. You need one mission or two missions or three missions. Right now we'll go with one mission, and next add storage. Next, coming to the storage. So now we can check this off, like AMI we have selected it in the first place. Next we have selected instance type, and next thing is EBS. EBS is nothing but what?
Hard drive.
Yeah, it's hard drive. So that means the storage. So if you can see how much storage you need, you can give. You can give up to 3000. See to the, so Windows doesn't support more than 2048 GB. Okay. So you can give 100, 200, 300. So example, it is not supporting more than 2800. Okay, 2000. Give 2000 here, and then you can add new volume also, and you can give 2000 more if you need more storage. But if you don't need it, you can just give basic 30. See, if you can see here, in every tab you can see something or other thing where it says that what is the free tier limitation. So if you can see, free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 gig of EBS volume. So I'm going for 30. Okay. You can also use, for Linux missions, you can also use 10 or 15 also. But for Windows, the OS take a lot of storage. So we need to give 30 at least. And next, tags. Tags is nothing but you can just give name of it. You can just select a name and you can say test and security group. So if you can see here, the missions, we are connecting the missions remotely, right? So there is a concept called port, okay, to connect to it. So if it is a Windows mission, we need to do RDP. For RDP, 3389 is the port. Okay, so this you are not giving any port because you have selected a Windows EMI. It has automatically given you this port. Okay, but rather than you going next, I'm just explaining you that you need to know why we are giving this number here. And if you create a launch, it will give you the summary of what you have choose. This is very much similar to Amazon, you know, Amazon.com. You want to buy something, you are if selected, all these are in cart right now. Okay, so you can see this is the review. You have selected Windows in EMI, instance type you have selected this, security group, that is the open one, you have selected this, and for storage you have selected 30 gig. And now I'm saying launch, and it will ask you to create a key pair. Key pair is nothing but it is like password for your laptop. So you can use this key pair to log into this mission. So I'll select create a new key pair, and I'll go for test. And before you do the launch, actually what you need to do is you need to download this key pair, because if you lose it, you won't be able to log into that mission. As I told you, this will be like a password. Previously, we were able to directly launch the instance. Now, without downloading, it's not enabled. So recently they have changed their UI. So you can launch the instance. So if you can see here, an instance is ready for you. It has created an instance. How much time it took after we have selected?
Less than 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. So if you can see here, it is pending state. So if you refresh here, it will give you a 2x2 checks, like, you know, like this 2x2 checks. Here, 2x2 checks means one check is, that they will try to connect remotely to that mission. That is one check. And they will try to connect from there, where from the data warehouse. So that is the other check. So these are the two checks they do basically for a mission. So if you can see here, it quickly came into running. So that means it is running right now. Okay, the mission is running right now. So we have quickly created an mission. And now how to connect to this mission? This is a Windows mission, right? So for Windows mission, you will get an IP here. You can see the IP, right? Copy this IP and go to the connect, and you will have RDP client here. So you need to get password before that. So I told you the key pair, this is where you will be using this key pair for. So get password, it's not available, at least 4 minutes you need to wait. So we'll be waiting for that. So meanwhile, guys, we didn't do anything other than just creating an instance like how we need. We didn't do anything else. Okay, this is a very basic thing. We have just selected an AMI, just selected CPU RAM, and we have selected how much storage we need. That's it. We have created an mission. Do anyone have any questions on this? Like any type of doubt? Don't think it's a silly one. Just go ahead and ask.
Shrikant, we normally use Citrix, right? In a
Exactly.
virtual desktops, it will be very
Mhm.
slow usually. Uh,
Yes.
how fast will this work actually? Citrix is
Yeah.
usually very slow.
Yeah. So that depends on the instance type what you have selected. Right now we have selected very small one. Again, that won't be very slow. It will be quick. But if you are using like bigger applications or lot of heavy applications or heavy storage stuff, it will become slow. But the best thing here is right now I have created some T2 micro mission, right? You saw that we have selected T2 micro. At one point of time you think that okay, this is very slow, I'm running heavy applications.
Yes.
What you can do is you don't need to create a new instance or new mission. Example, in laptop, I'm using this laptop, and if the laptop is slow, what you will try to do, you will try to get a new laptop, or you will try to upgrade your hard disk, or upgrade your RAM, or upgrade your CPU.
Yes.
If you can do that, most people will go to the new laptop, right? Here it is not like that. It is scalable meaning you can increase instance type or storage at any point of time. Right now it is running, and you can see the 2x2 checks will see 2x2 checks are also there. Right now it is running. To see the statistics of this mission, you need to select this mission, and you will see all the details here. Security details will be here, storage details will be here, and this will be here. As I told you, right now this mission I'm not able to, this is not enough for you. What you can just do is actions, Okay. For this, you need to stop the mission to upgrade this type of this instance. But before that, let me show you how to connect to it. And after that, I'll show you that. Okay, so you are selecting RDP client and you need to try to get password here. And when you browse it, you have downloaded the key, right? Do you remember the key which we have downloaded? That's the last step we did, right?
Yes.
So we will upload that and that will decrypt the password for you. And see, this is the password. If you can copy the password, and there are two ways. Either you can just download the remote desktop file and you can directly click it, or you can do what you can do is Windows R mstsc. Okay, again, don't think that it's a very it's a complicated command. Okay, you can just go and search for remote desktop connection. That's the same thing. Okay, why we are opening this? Because we are trying to connect to the mission which we have created right now remotely. In the uses, we have discussed that, right? In cloud, it is remote. So we are remotely connecting to that instance. Okay, so what is the IP of it? Let me copy this. Let me copy the password here and back to this instance. And let me get the IP of it. So this is the IP, right? Copy this IP. If you click this, the IP is copied automatically. And where is that? Windows R mstsc. So I'll copy that. So if you can see, that is the IP, right? And username is not there. Just try to connect it, and you will ask for it. You will be asked for username and password. And so the username, this is the username. Copy that username and give it here. And password, we have just decrypted the password, right? Copy that decrypted password and just, so if you can see this, it, the whatever key we have given, it's asking for the trusted certificate, and we can say yes, and boom, you are able to log into the mission which you have created just now. You're able to see the mission, right? Where this is the first time it is opening. So when you
Yes.
bought a new laptop, when you do it first time, it will configure few things, right? OS and all that stuff. So it's configuring all that for you. And see, we have created a Windows mission. And if you can go and see, wait, File Explorer, the storage, how much storage we have selected? We have selected 30 gig,
2000.
right? No,
Yeah.
30. 2000 is the highest thing. We have selected only 30.
Highest. Yeah.
So 30. So this is the mission. So basically it is, if you can see, comparatively, it is very quick, very fast. You won't be having any. And again, this is just a T2 micro. T2 micro is one of the smallest missions we have. That means just imagine if you are going for M4, M5, those are like very, very, very big missions and supercomputers. If you wanted to buy any hardware like that, it will take more than like more than $10,000 or not 10,000, actually it will be more than 20,000, $30,000. Here you're just creating this in on fly, and even the cost of it is very less. If you can see this, the pricings, I don't know if you can see pricing. Do you have pricings here? I think it will be on a different page. You can see those will be charged very less. Actually, it will be like 0.01 cents per hour. Okay, this is charged hourly, right? So if you can see EC2 instance pricing, you can see the pricing here. Most of them will go for on demand only, right? So if you can see, if you create an A1 medium instance, you will be charged $0.0225 per hour. Okay, so in the same way, T2 micro created the Windows one, right? Which one did we create? We have created T2 micro, right? Yeah, so if you can see T2 micro, this is the one which we have created. So basically it is 0.0162 per hour, but you will get charged of this only after you surpass the 750 hours, which is your free tier per month, right? Did you saw that right previously? Uh, if you can see here, EC2 instance, it is per month
750 hours.
you will have 750 hours free. 750 hours free. So only after this 750 hours you will get charged, and you will have what types of instance type you will be using also you will be getting here. So some of these things you need to remember. You'll get a question, mostly this question you'll get most of the times. What is the free tier storage of S3? You'll be getting like 5 GB, 50 GB, 500 GB.
5 GB.
You can select 5 GB. So that is how. And previously we were doing something like, so right now the instance name, you remember the instance name, right? This is test mission. Okay, right now we have selected it. So what you can do is the best thing here. So you need this mission. Basically, Mohammed is using this mission. He, after, he's using only when he's working from 10 to morning 10 to 5 o'clock. And after that, he don't need it again to until next morning. But you're paying hourly, right? What you will do, you don't need to just give this away. You can just stop these missions. So if you can see how I stopped this, if you stop the missions, you won't get charged. And you can again start the
Yes.
mission tomorrow. But you will be charged a very little for storage, because you cannot stop the storage, right? If you're saving some files, that cannot be counted actually, because you are saving some files. So for EBS volume, you will get very little price, but mostly for compute, they won't charge you because you're stopping the instance. So see, if you can see, that is the reason I've stopped it. The C5 2x large is very big mission. Actually, it will cost a lot per hourly. Even if you can see M5x large, M4x large, these are very big missions. Okay. So now the test mission, right? Now test mission, what we are drinking. So as I told you, you can increase this at any point of time. Just for example, let me show you the storage. What is the storage we have selected before? How much? 30, right? But but your application is having a lot of logs, or you're putting something, you're downloading something, you're downloading some movie, and it is of you need more volume here. You just need to go simply select the volume. Volume is nothing but the hard disk which you have selected. See, it will get you this thing, and just select that volume, go to the action, modify volume, and just increase it to 50. We're just increasing 20 gig, right? You can increase as much as modifying volume is succeeded, and the volume will be modified or increased to 50. So if you can see here, wait, sometimes this refresh doesn't work. See, 50 gig.
Hmm.
How much time it took for you to just increase it?
10 seconds.
Yeah, that's the main advantage of this. Refresh and select that mission and see storage is 50. The same way here, you can also change this instance type. Okay. One thing you cannot change is AMI because the OS is already installed, right? That you cannot change on fly. But other things. So instance state. Okay. You can see there are three like these options you have. Stop, reboot, terminate. Terminate means it will completely terminate. That means you won't get it back. See guys, one more thing. Once you do this, that is gone forever. Unless you took backup of it, you won't be having anything of this, like any storage or anything. You won't be having anything. Once you click it, boom, that's gone. There is no undo button. Okay, so be careful when you do it, because I have seen some people have terminated some production instances also.
Shrikant,
Yeah.
if we stop the instance, is it chargeable?
No. If you stop the instance, you won't be charged for compute, but you will be charged a very little for volume, the EBS volume, because
Okay.
you will be storing some of your files, right? So um, it is like very less.
Okay. Okay.
If you can see here, change instance type, T2 micro, you can change it to, which is the other one? T3 micro is the one which is free, right? T3 micro. I'm selecting T3 micro and I'm just applying it. So now if you can see, it is T3 micro, and when we start this instance, it will be T3 micro. So that, see how much time it took. It took like very less time. So basically previously in other clouds, what you need to do is you need to go again, select the AMI first again and create all this stuff right from beginning. But here you have just created it. You can see instance type changed. So that means you can upgrade your laptop at any point of time. Laptop, computer, because we are comparing this with laptop, I'm just giving you that as an example. So if you can see, and here, see, this is like very weird, right? There's a small thing you're peeping in it. You can see these three things here. So it will cover completely, it will cover half of it, it will open completely like this. So that's where you can maximize, minimize, and put it in the medium. So see, this is running again. So sorry, this is the test mission we created, right? So it is initializing. It will take some time, but it will go for the 2x2 checks. And now just select it and action terminate. And I'm deleting the mission. Once it is deleted, that is gone. See if you can see successfully terminated also. You can see here, it will try to shut down first and then terminate. And after terminating, the name of these things will stay for 5 to 10 minutes. Don't worry about it. If it shows terminated here, it is terminated. That's it. So this is for the EC2 instances. So tomorrow we'll discuss about the Linux, like what type of Linux missions we like OS missions we have and all other type other things. So this is just a quick demo for you how the AWS works and how we will be creating infrastructure in it. So basically, this is the server where development or testing or anything else will go on. So do you guys have any questions on this or like anything? We can just close with this.
Hi, Shrikant. I have questions.
Yeah,
Actually, first of all, I would like to thank you for taking time and teaching us. Your teaching skills are remarkable, so I really appreciate that. Uh,
thank you.
my question is, what would be the end result, end goal that we are trying to achieve? Um, I know that you said we can take the exam, cloud practitioner, but what are we trying to get to? Like when we go for work, let's say
Mhm,
we have a certification of cloud practitioner. Are we
mhm.
going to there, or are we going to go further? Like, are we going to go for solution architect or any specific field, or we're gonna stay at the cloud practitioner, just a
No, yes,
cloud?
cloud practitioner, you won't have any jobs stating with cloud practitioner actually. Cloud practitioner is nothing but, that's a certification where AWS will certify you that you know most of the services and you know how to navigate and you know what is the pricing and you know something about cloud. So that's the only thing about practitioner.
Okay.
After that, which field you wanted to select. So here, as I told you, this is a vast thing. Even if you're a developer, there is a place for you. If you're a database engineer, there is a place for you. If you are uh, IT engineer, there is a place for you. If you are a security engineer, there will be a place for you. You'll be an architect, there will be a place for you. Basically, it will cover everything, whatever you wanted to. Even if you want to go do some SAP stuff, you can provision instances with SAP. You can get an AMIs with SAP stuff. You can do it here.
Right.
And yeah.
But my understanding was that we have to, this course will, at the end of the course, we will get trained with AWS, and then, we'll go into the job market. But
Mhm.
like many of us, who are very new to this thing,
Mhm.
just knowing the knowledge of AWS may not be satisfactory to the companies. So we have to go to some place, right? As a team, I see a lot of people here. So all of us as a team will be going on one direction, or after this certificate of cloud practitioner, you will separate them to whatever field you want, and then you give training to individuals or bunch of people, how it
Yeah.
goes.
So basically, even though like whatever field you will be going in, you need to know all the core services. So in this course, you will be taught all the core services and you'll get to know everything. Most of the candidates in this class will go into the next steps where they go for AWS DevOps, where we will learn about other DevOps tools. And you can also stay as a cloud engineer where you can do all these core services here. Or if you wanted to go to the database engineer, even now cloud database engineers are also a lot of market in it. You can go and specifically work for only database like Redshift warehouse. So you can go work on Redshift or you can go on RDS. And if you wanted to go to security, so you can say I'm a security guy. I want security only. So you can go to security. You will have an IAM stuff here, okay, where you can administrate and you can restrict the access to the missions and all the services. So you can go into there and you can also work for cybersecurity. So those are the things. So depending on what you wanted to, you will be, choosing that after this course. So this is where everyone will be. Example, in your BTech, the first year will be basic for everything. After that, they'll go for civils, mechanical, everything, right? So the first year is painful. So this is the first part where you are right now.
Right. So you're saying that, I mean, the end goal is for this class is more focused towards DevOps.
Not for everyone, but yes, for most of them.
Okay. And if, let's say, I decided that DevOps is something not my cup of tea, then
Mhm.
I will go for security, let's say. And
Yeah.
that, do you have any, anybody who train us on security, or is it something
See,
that's
so
not?
if you can, yeah, yeah. So basically, right now, when I teach you about the core services, I'll give you IAM insights also. If you wanted to get expertise in it, you need to go and work. You can go and make custom policies, try most of things and work out, check all the options. Right now, I've given you EC2, but if you can see, there are so many other options also here. If you wanted to get expertise in this, you need to check everything. You need to deep dive into it. Once you deep dive into it, you will be expertise in it. So there are other certifications for that too. If you wanted to become security, you wanted to go to security, there is a security professional stuff. You can deep dive into it so that you don't need to um, get idea of all other services. But one thing I'm saying is, even though if you're going to the security staff, you need to know about all this, just an idea. You need to know about all these services, because even in security, what you do is you restrict access to these services. That means you need to know what these services are and how those works. So that's the reason the basic practitioner is mandatory for everyone.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
even if you go, even if you are a developer, like ETL tool, you can install Talent, or you can whatever tools you wanted to. You can, if you are a Hadoop data engineer, you can use EMR, but you need to know what service in AWS is used by it, and that EMR will have an external services like IAM role, which is again connected to security. So all these are interconnected. At least you don't need to do that, but you need to have an idea of it.
Okay,
Yeah. So that idea you will get from crowd practitioner.
okay, okay,
But mostly the easy part is going, other than going, see if it is DevOps, quickly you will be getting placed because there are other tools involved in it. If it is not DevOps, what I would suggest is go for an infra cloud engineer or infrastructure engineer. Infrastructure engineer is much more easier, because whatever I'm showing you right now, just now you have spinned up an EC2 infrastructure. In the same
right,
way, you can spin up. There are a lot of services you can see here. You can spin up, RDS. You can spin up EMR. You can spin up Redshift. You can spin up all these things. But only 20% of the companies will do it in the manual way how I showed you. Right now, I've showed you the steps, right? So
right.
these steps, only 20% will do it manually. Nowadays, people are moving into IAC, infrastructure as a code. So they're writing code to create this, which is a very basic one, which is very easy. Uh, After this course or the certification thing, we'll also discuss about that. Even in this, we will go, but we won't go deep dive. Okay, I'll show you that that's a core service, and you can just check. Okay, this is the service and all that stuff, and then. But basically, you will get an idea of all the services, what is cloud, what are the main things, and all that. Once you complete the course, you can navigate here and there how I'm doing right now. See if you can see, if you need a service, I'm going here. If I don't find it here, I'll go here and I'll search for security or something like that. I'll go here. If I need my user account, I'll get here and I'll go to support here. So I know where to navigate. So that ease you will get, rather
Okay,
than, okay, oh, I don't know what happens if I click here, or I don't know what is there in this. so that you won't have that fresher feeling or those things.
So
And you'll also know the core concepts. You will know the security stuff, best practices. You will know the pricing. These are the main three stuffs you will be tested on.
so basically, I mean, after knowing all this information, we will be heading towards DevOps, where the most job is a good job market there. Correct?
Not everyone. That's what most of the people, not only in this class, in outsider people also will go to that because after the AWS, they'll go to the CI/CD pipeline and they'll go to the DevOps stuff. So mostly DevOps and AWS are interlinked. So people will ask for like AWS DevOps engineer, something like that.
Okay. And
So
what is the
that's the reason. Yeah.
course? The duration of this course?
The duration of this course is just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And will you be sharing the recordings that you do, or because I mean you went through a lot of things, and I personally, I mean I don't know about others, but I personally